Hi, my name is Miranda Alvarado, a junior at the School of Visual Arts under the program BFA Interior Design Built Environments. From a young age, I've experienced how the power of design can shape lives, not through grand gestures, but through design that creates inclusive communities that have supported me. Learning that design can be used as a vehicle for equity and empowerment, particularly for individuals who are often left out of the conversation, have impacted the way I work and the way I create. Accessibility and inclusion is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Yet, in so much of the world today, it remains an afterthought, especially in space planning, leading to environments that exclude rather than embrace. My grandparents came to New York City in 1952 from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, chasing the promise of a better future. They settled in a small apartment with working visas in Spanish Harlem, worked hard, and later brought their 6 children to join them, a tight but typical family arrangement for Black and Hispanic families at the time. But as they tried to build a better life, the city was being reshaped in ways that pushed families like mine to move out. Urban planner Robert Moses built highways and parks that transformed New York, but at a cost. His designs often excluded marginalized communities, from low bridges that blocked the access to beaches, to discriminatory permit practices and deliberate displacement. And many families were forced to move out, often left with no real plan of where they'd go next, and my grandparents were among them. Faced with unstable rent, shrinking job opportunities, and the sweeping displacement caused by urban renewal, they moved all the way down to Manhattan. And from Manhattan, they moved to Williamsburg, Brooklyn. There, they tried again to build a foundation for future generations. And to me, design is more than just infrastructure. It's about community, belonging, and spaces that we should be allowed to call home. And my family story is a reminder that progress shouldn't come at the cost of erasure. Coming from a background that differs greatly from my peers, I often felt the weight of invisibility and insecurity. But I learned that through this experience, it has deepened my empathy and strengthened my desire to resolve design issues through user-led choices and focused initiatives. Inaccessible design doesn't create inconvenience, it creates barriers that contributes to social isolation, particularly for marginalized groups. And that issue became one of the leading forces behind 3 of my projects. My first project is the microhousing Link and Lift unit, designed for disabled elderly users that link people and lift barriers. This residential space connects personal and shared areas that encourage social connection and autonomy. Set within a repurposed office building, the project explores adaptive reuse. And the leading force behind this design is a continuous handrail wayfinding system embedded into its main walls. This serves as a connective thread between personal and shared spaces that reinforce daily routines. And the railing system is installed in high-use areas like cooking, personal care, and entertainment. Responsive spaces should restore independence, inclusion, and even social interaction. The next project is the Youth Action Youth Build, set in Harlem, New York, which is a school for Black and Hispanic young adults learning new vocational skills. As a group, we had to redesign spaces for programs like building operations, construction, and culinary courses. For the construction workshop, I had the opportunity to redesign custom workstations, which were made for building classes and for storage, which we ended up using for the wood workshop, and also our cost-efficient conference space that changes through daily programs with its sliding partitions. The next project is my tome mesh chair, which I built only using foam cardboard to help support readers. The word tome means a scholarly book, and mesh refers to its woven cushioning. The chair emphasizes the importance of freedom and education regardless of its user. The chair was designed to be sustainable through using less material during assembly, through weaving, slotting, and scoring methods of cardboard manipulation. And it was inspired by traditional weaving techniques that I tested, and through that, I sustainably learned to use extra scraps for weaving cushioning for comfort for all readers. After completing the projects, a jury member who revealed that they had previously been a wheelchair user pulled me aside to say a couple words. They shared a question that challenged how I used to approach design. They said, "Is it better to design for the majority knowing that you're excluding someone else, or design specifically for the minority, and in doing so, sometimes and most likely end up designing for everyone?" They went on to say something like, "Sometimes when we design for who we think is everyone, we end up designing for no one." This experience made me realize that universal design can't be an afterthought or a compromise, but it has to be the starting point.